So one of the things that we're seeing nationwide in property management and in our market as well is the comeback of concessions. We're seeing properties take a little bit longer to rent, higher days on market, but at least in the Wilmington market, which is still very strong, we're not seeing the rental rates drop all that much. We're still getting very healthy renewal rates, and we're still renting properties at roughly the same or higher rates that we have for the last couple of years. How do we address the fact that it's taking longer for these properties to rent for us to find tenants?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I've talked to so many people lately that are thinking, how come my property hasn't rent yet? How long do you think it'll take you to rent it? As we start sliding, we're still very seasonal. So as we start sliding towards the holidays, we really want to go ahead and get your property rented. And in order to do that, you kind of want to differentiate yourself from the competition. And I don't want to see you lower the rent rate. What I'd rather see you do is maybe offer a concession, like $500 off the first month's rent. Or even some owners might even go so far as 1 month free, because on the backside, you're going to cost that as lost revenue. So it's not really going to hurt you as much. But if you leave that property vacant for, say, 3 months, you're out all of that money. It would have been better just to give a concession right at the very, very beginning. And our website attracts anybody Googling, properties for rent in Wilmington or Brunswick County or Hampstead. They're going to get directed to our website. So we are, getting the good cream of the crop are the tenants. And there's still really great tenants out there. These are people that are unable to buy right now with the interest rates and the low inventory. So you're renting to people that actually would have been buyers. So they're great and they're qualified. You just need to make sure that you're incentivizing them to choose your property.
Right. And one of the other things at play is that if you offer a one-time concession, you're still locking in that higher rental rate. The odds of your tenant renewing are pretty good. At least in our portfolio, we see 60-70% renewal rate. So you don't want to lower a rental rate that then locks you into a lower rate for years on end.
Sure.
You keep the rental rate high, you incentivize on the front end, you get a higher quality tenant, and you get a better rental rate for what could be many, many years.
Yeah, and this time of the year too, our property managers are super conscious about wanting to try to make our leases come open during May, June, July, and August. So if you brought us a property right now, we would probably try to get your tenant on an 18-month lease. That way your property's always coming available during a great time of year for either renewal or when it becomes vacant. Because, those months we have the least vacancy and the highest rental rates.
Yeah, and it's just good to put all of this into perspective and context. If you look historically at occupancy rates before the boom of 2019, 2020, it was 95% or less. Those years, 21, 22, we're looking at 99, close to 100%. There were times last year, despite having over 1,000 properties in our portfolio, we had pretty much no vacancies.
Right.
We're back to like 98, 99%. So we're still at one of the highest occupancy rates our company in this market has ever seen. It's just not exactly the same as it was in 2021 and 2022 when things were just flying off the shelf.
Exactly. Because COVID, Wilmington was named one of the number one places in the country to relocate during COVID. And we even had people coming here from New York and California that bought a property, lived in it during COVID, and then gave it to us to manage. So rental rates increased. And I still think rental rates will continue to increase, maybe not at the rate that it did back in 2021, 2022, but I'm encouraged by everything because right now I'm seeing more people renting than are able to buy.
Yeah, it's true. And as people continue to migrate from major cities to smaller cities for affordability reasons and quality of life reasons, I think you're just going to continue to see more people come to Wilmington. And what's very interesting is you get a lot of people who say, oh, we're building so many houses, we're building so many apartments, there's no way that there are going to be enough people coming in. Well, the truth is we're still so far behind on the supply side. Even if we kept this pace, I don't think we're ever going to catch up. So I don't think we're going to be sitting here with this oversupply and lack of demand, because as long as Wilmington is still beautiful, inexpensive, and maybe we can work on some of our traffic issues, I think people are going to keep coming.
Exactly. And I told somebody the other day, they're like, well, who are your tenants? I'm like, Wilmington's awesome. We have college kids. We have tourists that come here on vacation and decide they want a second home here. We have
retirees who don't want to manage a house.
Exactly. And then we have the military base.
Right.
So we kind of have a really cool demographic here for investment purposes. So I always encourage people, let's talk about the rates. Let's talk about what we can get you for rent for that property before you go under contract. Reach out to us. We're glad to help.